Okay, so there's the handshake.
Thank you. The first frame, Xiao Guodong to break.
Quite an interesting match between these two players, Junhui and Xiao Guodong. Played each other 6 times in their career. Quite surprising. I think they would have played a little bit more, but 5-1 in head-to-heads for Junhui. Guodong has had some success on the professional tour, and particularly in the shootout. He's been the runner-up on 2 occasions, 2015, 2017. A very capable player. I don't know whether you've seen much of him, Steve, but you know, very good short cue action, very compact, very bit like Ding in a way, but he's a handful when he gets going. Xiao Guodong. It'll be an interesting sort of matchup. I don't know how you feel about this match, but always when there's players from the same country, there's always that little bit of pressure, even though you would expect Ding to win this match, but there's always that little bit of pressure on them.
Red going dangerously close to that pocket there, but he's got away with it. Yeah, it feels as if Ding's sort of still the master, but he's being pushed very hard these days. Guodong knocking on the doors of the top 16 at one stage. At 19, I think, was his best. He's down to 26 now, but that's still very commendable. I think it's 26.
Ding has had so much success, hasn't he, over the years. He's been a fantastic player, and he's sort of set the trend for a lot of the Chinese players coming over. Been flying the flag for a number of years now. There's a great opening pot. Turned professional back in 2003 already. 13 ranking titles. Almost 500 centuries, and a 147 6 times. Incredible record.
He put a nice positive hit on that shot. No sign of tension in the arm there.
This is a little bit surprising. I know it's early days, but maybe the Ding a couple of years ago, Steve, might have played the red into the middle and got back down for the black there. Just mentioned he's had 6 147s in competition, and the way the reds were spread there were absolutely beautiful. He hasn't had
50.
The best of times of late, so maybe just not fully confident. Scraped through against Matthew Selt in the last round, 6-5, when he was behind in that match for long periods. One of the best break builders in the game, though, isn't he, Steve?
Yeah, he's very efficient at the top 21. Of the table. Never looks like he's hurrying the shots, but he gets on with it.
22.
Pretty simple, repetitive cue action. Doesn't sort of wind himself up for different shots. It's more or less exactly the same method every single time.
Yeah, controlled that one very nicely indeed. Purposely held for this red, just above the black.
28.
That's not good. He's overscrewed
35.
that. Want to be away from the cushion.
It's funny, that shot, he could have played that shot a lot harder, screwed back off the side cushion for the middle of the table. That would have given him options of reds. This is tough, not just the pot, the position as well.
Junhui, 35.
Yeah, and there's the evidence, and that's why he may be not as confident as he was maybe a season or two ago. Not scoring as well, as he struggled a bit, as I said, in his first match, in his last match against Matthew Selt, but had an amazing World Championship final. Although we lost to Max Selby a couple of years ago, but how well he played in that World Championship. He did everything but win it. He's been knocking on the door for a few years now. Surely will get his hands on that trophy before long. There's so many good players around now. It's so difficult for all these. They're all competing against each other, but that will make them feel a lot better.
Yeah, these days it's tough to be defined by your World Championship record. It gets harder and harder. What a great shot from Ding. That blue had to be given respect as well. So back in prime position, he won't have enjoyed messing up the first chance, but could well make enough to get over the line here.
7.
There you see his target, 68, before his opponent will require a snooker. Oh, wow, another mistake. Just trying to just play a little cannon on that red that
14.
the cue ball is close to and to the left. And just watch this, just misses the red. Just tried to play a little cannon on that. Any sort of contact on that red and he would have been perfect. He's still okay, but would have disappointed him.
$15.
He made that look easy. Very clinical break builder. Cue ball doesn't
21.
travel very far. Some players
22.
can get themselves in a bit of a knot and go all over the table in making breaks, but Ding's always pretty tight in for the next shot.
28. $29.
So just this black required to leave his opponent needing snookers, and you can't see his opponent coming back to the table the way the reds are positioned.
36.
So a decent start for Ding Junhui. The first chance would have upset him that he didn't make enough from, but second chance has been better.
$44. 45.
Of course, these two guys play out of the same academy in Sheffield. I'm not quite sure whether they practice a lot with each other. It's the Star Academy up there, run by Keith Warren and Gary Baldry.
52. '53. 56. 57.
Even though it's not that much of a problem, it's nice to finish off the frame, just in case your opponent wanted to get back to the table, get his arm going, just keep him in his
64.
chair. So important in one respect, to clean
65.
these balls up.
'72. Thank you. 74. 77. 81.
I don't suppose there's that many 99 breaks recorded.
'86.
The occasional one. That's what it's going to be. Excellent performance by Ding Junhui here. Great opening red.
92.
This black for the 99. In it goes,
99
and
in
Ding
the first
Junhui
frame.
wins the first frame.
Ding Junhui.
1-0 Ding Junhui.
Let's have a look at that opening red again. Oh, he hit it absolutely beautifully into the corner pocket and held it nicely for the colour. Here's the one that just started off this wonderful break.
A shot that looked a little risky, but see where he put the cue ball, an element of safety in the shot as well. And I think that's where the top players these days have moved the game on. Those types of shots.
Yeah, but so effective with them. You get a high percentage of them. He's a fantastic long putter. But there was some elements in there, and I suppose Ding Junhui is one of those players. He needs a good run again, doesn't he? You know, just to be, you know, you haven't seen him at the business end of a tournament for a little while now, and I'm sure he would have been very disappointed with that World Championship that I spoke about. It came so close. Max Selby played out of his skin. Both players played out of his skin in that final. It was so close, wasn't it?
Yeah, but I think you know, he doesn't have much to prove within the game.
No.
5 ranking events he won in the season a few years back, and you know, it's only really the World Championship that's missing.
The second frame, Ding Junhui to break.
Xiao comes to the table. Didn't have much to go at in that first frame. He's got to be careful here. He's going to be playing off the pack, but he's going to have to. Maybe he's not. Thought he may be playing off the pack, and if he had have been, he knew he was going to be bringing a lot of reds into play, so decided against it. Thought it was too risky. Played the containing safety shot. And Ding is having a look at a couple of reds in the pack, maybe a plant into the left centre. They don't look set, but they are. Which is very, very well spotted.
Oh.
Very well spotted indeed.
You'd have to wonder if that was a mistake by Xiao Guodong not spotting that, although perhaps a bit overly critical by saying that. What do you reckon? You know, should he have got up the table, had a look?
Well, I feel he should have had a look, yeah, to see where he was leaving the cue ball. I mean, if he had have even had a look at that and thought that it may have been on, he could have left the cue ball behind the black somewhere. And not anyway. Didn't want to clip the pack there with the cue ball, but still okay. He's got a red to left centre.
Seven.
Well, that was another missable red that he made look very easy.
Yeah, he's very good at that type of shot, cueing off the cushion.
He's a bit thin on this blue. He might be hard for him to control without going off the back cushion and back into play. Certainly didn't want to clip the pack there. That was nicely done. He's got options of reds now.
12.
That red by the black is obviously a problem ball. He'd like to get that out of the way as quickly as he could.
$13.
Perfectly top side of the blue. Now he can get on that red that you were suggesting here, Steve. The one that's closest to the black. Well, he hasn't decided to get on it this time. Taking the red below the pink.
18.
I suppose he needs a pretty critical
19.
angle on that red next to the black. He's underhit that a little bit. Wasn't really playing for the pink here. Excellent standard of potting. Nothing touching
25.
the cushions as it's going in. Incredibly close to the cue ball there, it seemed.
26.
Once again, a little bit under hit.
Yeah, he's potting well, but he just doesn't have the cue ball on a string at the moment. That's better. But when he had the chance to go down for the red above the black, he probably should have taken it, because he would have made his
32.
break a lot easier. And since he decided against that, he's been struggling with position. He needs one good pot now.
Thank you. 33.
Now let's see what's available. When he pots this pink, what's available into the opposite right-hand corner pocket. It's a red just below the pink in that little group of four that does pot.
39.
And if he can get high on the pink after this red, he probably would have made the positional
40.
shot from pink to the red near the black as simple as possible, should he so wish.
46.
Break goes to 46. Target is 68 before Xiao will need snookers again.
47.
Now, what's available after this? The red is closest to his hand there is available. There's another red on the other side. But he's decided to go into the pack, and he's judged that very, very nicely indeed. Nice shot.
54.
Yeah, well read. Could have gone wrong, but he read the cannon very well there. He knew he was going to promote that red towards the pocket.
55.
Yeah, he hit the perfect red, didn't he? The one right in the middle. Hit it beautifully.
Surgeon-like stuff at the moment. Could have put a bit more into that
60.
one. So, just a little bit of pressure on this pot that he didn't need.
$61.
Clean as a whistle. Very good stuff so far.
67.
Well, his opponent,
68.
Xiao Guodong, has been sitting in his chair. Hasn't potted a ball yet. And there's not much you can do but just admire it. Made a mistake when he played that
74.
containing safety shot. Didn't come down and look at the reds, and he's been sitting in his chair ever since. Now, will he come back to the table? He may do.
Ding Junhui, 74.
Well, nice break from Ding Junhui, and barring snookers from Xiao Guodong. He's going to take another frame and lead by 2 frames to 0.
Thank you. 1. Six.
Well, they're the first couple of balls Xiao Guodong has made tonight, and he'll be trying
7.
to go on and clear the table from here. He's not going to play for snookers, just to get his arm going. And going back to what you said in the first frame, Steve, you know, you want to keep your opponent sitting in that chair as long as possible.
14.
Ding Junhui, even though he's won this frame, he'd be disappointed that Xiao was back to the table here.
Thank you.
Yeah,
15.
the difference is if Ding Junhui could have potted all of the balls, then all of a sudden Guodong hasn't potted one in the match, and if he's left with a sort of 50-50 shot, it's even harder than it would be now. He's had a few shots, got his two arm going.
Well, sure, he's not going to play for snookers.
22.
Well,
Xiao Guodong.
I never
22.
thought that was going to be the case there. 52 behind with just 35 remaining. That's 5 snookers required. It's getting 1 snooker these days, a tall order. Getting 5 of them. Better off doing the lottery.
It's a bit old school style, trying to upset the rhythm of your opponent by making the frame go on. Something that used to happen in the 70s more.
Thing should do here really is just roll this red over the green pocket. In or over will do. It's not a bad snooker, but he's decided for the easy swerve. Good shot. Might get a snooker back here.
Thank you. Foul. Junhui 4. Frame conceded. Frame.
Okay, so frame eventually conceded by Xiao Guodong. And Ding Junhui eventually takes a 2 frames to 0 lead. Well, Steve, I don't know whether we're being a little bit critical, but I believe we have to be, because Xiao Guodong played a containing safety shot. Now, the rule of thumb is that if you're going to play a containing shot, you should always come down. Just like when you're playing a safety shot off the pack, you should always have a look to see if there's possible plants or there's possible reds going to either corner. Yeah.
Perhaps he couldn't even see those 2 reds behind the pink, from where he was, as much as where they were lined up. But he was obviously playing this safety to the top cushion to push it round the back of the black, and he did clip the black, but he was hoping that was the way the white ball was going to go.
Yeah.
So he was always leaving that red plant into the middle pocket. So yeah, definitely should have had a look.
Yeah.
He wouldn't have played it if he'd have seen this.
Absolutely, yeah. And definitely would have put the cue ball on the other side of the black, but that's exactly what happened. And Ding Junhui potted that and went on to make a 74 break, which won him the frame basically. So it's a little cardinal sin for snooker players. Always have a look to what you possibly can be leaving your opponent.
3rd frame. Xiao Guodong to break.
Xiao Guodong breaks off in frame 3 with the usual style break these days, trying not to get the cue ball tight on the cushion, but trying to swing it around the angles to use that green as a covering ball. He's not done it, so there is a chance for Ding to pot this red and possibly get round the back of the black for position. Tough shot. He might be playing it with topspin. He may be a little too straight, so just dropping it in. Well, there you go.
Get it right eventually.
I thought he could have tried the pot.
He did mention only 3 shots there, that was all. Half a chance here, Xiao Guodong. Good pot. Now needs to travel with the cue ball, or stop there for the brown into the left centre.
If Deng had taken my advice, that wouldn't have happened. Not nice being close to the brown and then having to play a run-through shot. You sort of feel like you might double hit the cue ball as your cue goes through. So these are very hard to play, these shots. It's helpful he's got a bit of an angle. Nicely played. Just got enough pace on the cue ball to get past the blue. At least I think he has.
5. Xiao Guodong 5.
Kept everything as still as possible there. Still missed it.
1.
Unusual for Ding to collide with the baulk colour. He's usually very good at
6.
going in and out of baulk. But with that red hanging over the jaws, it's not end of break, obviously. Pink goes into the middle pocket, which is handy for him.
Seven.
Now if you can, the pink, if it doesn't spot on its own, will go on the highest available, which in this instance is the green, but that won't bother Ding.
13.
He'll pot the red and get back up, try and get topside of the blue.
14.
And the red, he's going to come down and have a look at the red. Ooh. Is he okay? He's going to come down and have a look at the red just above the black. I'm sure it does pot into this bottom right hand corner pocket. There you see it. So that's, so we'll try and get on that red now. And then open up the black into both corner pockets. And he's off again.
That was a simple pot on the green, but he hit it very nicely, controlled the cue ball, waiting for the green to be spotted as close to its own spot as possible in a direct straight line with the top cushion.
Thank you. 17. 18.
Without touching the pink in that instance. That red just below the pack is quite nicely
25.
placed to be able to be used to break open the pack.
26.
Thing's got other ideas. Yeah, it could have gone wrong there. He had to play perfect position to get the right side of the blue, but now he's going to go into the pack with pace.
Well, that's just a A wonderful shot, isn't it? I mean, he couldn't have played that much better.
Just superb. I mean, they're having the confidence that he
31.
knows he's got control of the table to play from that red down to the blue. Could easily have been forgiven for trying to break open the pack, staying at the top of the table. Every chance here of 3-0.
Yeah, it was just the
32.
control, wasn't it? It just hit the apex red. Absolutely full on. A little bit of side, take him off the side cushion. And back into prime position.
39.
Of course, every day is a different day on the snooker
40.
table, but it does seem like things looking pretty comfortable against Guodong, isn't it? As if like perhaps he fancies he's the governor. You know, on another day, as you say, things could be different, but the way this is panning out, he looks to be in control.
Yeah, looks very confident.
45.
Certainly got a bit of help from his opponent, has to
46.
be said. But when the chance came along, things looked very, very sharp indeed. Had a bit of a scare, as I said, in his last match. Just scraped by 6-5 against Matthew Selt. But is looking
53.
imperious form now. Sometimes that happens,
54.
doesn't it, Steve? When you've had a match that you've sort of got out of jail, you've used your get out of jail card, and you become a different player.
Yep, it's it can harden you up, get you
61.
prepared for the onslaught that's ahead.
'62.
Would be interesting to know the rivalries of all the Chinese players. You know what goes on in the press over
69.
there. Are there any niggles or any things have been said that players have a beef with?
Yeah. Do they all get on?
Yeah,
or-
do they? We don't know really. I suppose
70.
we could ask, but
Never known any rivalries, to be honest. You know, we know some of the rivalries between the British players.
77.
And the Irish players, of course, so the British and the
78.
Irish players together. But we'll never know about the Chinese, whether they all seem to get on. Anytime you go up to the Star Academy or you go to Victoria's Academy in Sheffield, they always practice with each other.
83.
They're always chatting away, or they go for meals together. These two lads practice, of course, in the other academy, the Star Academy in Sheffield. So
84.
I'm sure they get on. Well, the black doesn't go,
Junhui,
but it's
84,
another
and the frame.
sizable break from Ding Junhui. 84. And that's another frame on the board. It's Ding Junhui who leads his compatriot Xiao Guodong by 3 frames to 0.
it looked like Xiao Guodong had got himself into that third frame. Okay, the shot he played wasn't the certainty at distance, but quite a way out really. He won't have been happy with the strike he put on it.
Yeah, he was stretching slightly, wasn't he? And he sort of trying to power it in to get up top side of the blue, but just came right across it, didn't he?
Sort of eyes wandering around the room, watching the action on other tables. Doesn't really make much difference as long as when he's concentrating on the shot, he's got 100% concentration. But the new setup these days means that there are more things in your eye line.
It's funny you should say that. I was talking to Mark Allen the other night. Was after I was commentating on his match with Rory McLeod, and I was asking about his concentration, because every time I looked at him in his chair, he seemed to be looking at other games going on, and sometimes your concentration can waver slightly.
Yeah, Mark Allen always seems to sort of look around.
Yeah.
But it's not the end of the world. But you've got Peter Ebdon. He wouldn't know there was anything else in the room.
Yeah.
He'd be fixed firmly ahead of himself. The stare.
The stare. The Peter Ebdon stare.
There again, do you want to use up all that energy staring into oblivion whilst the referee's putting the balls up? I don't know.
You had a bit of a stare,
Oh,
didn't you?
a stare, yeah, I used to stare at the floor. Hated the floor.
Thank you. Thank you, frame 4. Ding Junhui to break.
Ding Junhui breaks off in frame 4. He put a very good break on in frame 2. Cue ball wide enough off the side cushion to get in behind that green, and looks like he's done it again quite nicely. He gave Xiao Guodong a bit of a problem with his first break off. It was funny there, wasn't it? Ken, you just spotted the fact that he just came down the table to see if there was a plant on into a middle pocket.
Yeah.
That was, he knew he was going to play the cue ball to the top cushion. Learned his lesson. Better late than never.
Cost him a second frame for sure. No, doesn't want that cue ball to travel too far, because he's trying to block this red down the right hand side of the table. It looks like he's done that, so decent shot.
Yeah, I think he can play this outside red, but he's not guaranteed to be able to get the cue ball safe should he miss it. So is he playing another shot onto the top cushion? He didn't come down to have a look this time. He must know there's not a plant into the middle pocket. There's nearly one. Is it a 3 ball?
Oh, that's a poor shot from Ding Junhui. His first real mistake. He's got away with it. I don't think he's left anything.
Yeah.
Well, let's see. Has he left the red here? Well, maybe he has. Oh.
Yeah. Unforced error from Ding. He didn't have to play that safety shot. There were others available.
Thank you. 1.
It would be very nice from Xiao Guodong's perspective to punish Ding Junhui here. He's got an early chance to go into the pack with a red available, should he so wish. Not a screw back, a stunning. Okay, well, the screw back does avail the red into the middle pocket, although it's become blocked now, but could have played it as more of a stun shot. Get past to see the other red.
Nine.
Red above the black to the left. Maybe his choice here. No, he's playing on this red into the bottom right hand corner pocket.
14.
When he did play the screw into the pack, the reds didn't exactly open that nicely. They're still all blocked up there.
Thank you.
Just about the right side of the blue,
15.
but only just. Not too sure how much of an angle he can create from this.
Yeah, try to avoid that red and
20.
try and get down towards the red. Closest to the black. He still has that red. It's closest to the black into the bottom right-hand corner pocket.
Yeah, it's a tough shot though.
Mm.
It's a lot more of an angle than it looks on our overhead shot. And there you see, that's very missable. Wonderfully played, right in the heart. We'll be
21.
pleased with that one. And he's got nicely on the blue to be able to do some damage should he so wish. He could screw into the pink or the red to the left of the pink. He'd be pleased with that.
26.
He can just pop this red, whip around the back of the black for the black in the same pocket.
$27.
Yeah, this is a good response from Xiao Guodong. Took the positive shot there. Opened the pack nicely and now has opened the black. Plenty of reds in the open here. Just got to try and hold himself together. That's his
34.
target, 69. Before Ding will need a snooker.
$35.
Played Ding in the final of the Shanghai Masters in 2013 and lost in that
42.
final. That was his first major ranking final, Xiao Guodong. As I said, a couple
43.
of finals in the shootout, of course, as well. That was a nice little cannon on the reds and black, just to hold the cue ball for this
50.
red into the left corner pocket.
$51. $58. $59.
He's looking very good now. You don't get into the
65.
mid-20s and as high as rank 19 in the game without being an excellent break builder. Bit of a kick
Sure.
there.
66.
Just when he didn't really want it, he's still got to pot this black. So more of an angle on the black than he would have had. but it's there. And Xiao Guodong is now
73.
guaranteed of winning this frame. He'd be feeling a lot happier at the interval.
74.
Yeah, it's been a good response, must be said. It's been kept out very cold. Breaks of 83, 87 and 56 from breaks of 99, 74 and 84.
70.
But here was Ding's mistake. Simple little shot, trying to get the cue ball back to balk and just caught the knuckle. Yeah, as I said, he's been kept cold.
80.
Breaks of 99, 74 and 84 from Ding. But this break of 80 and counting has been a very good response from Xiao. Probably doesn't want the interval coming now after getting his hand on the table and potting a few balls. He'll have to wait
86.
15 minutes after this frame to come back and get going again. But it's a commendable
87.
performance in this frame. Could go on and make a century. Be his 9th this season if he does. He made 18 last season.
'93. 94.
And that's the 100. Homemade ton up there.
100. $101.
The authorities all like those homemade ton-ups when they're selling their own ones. It's been played at a very brisk pace, this match. It's going to be well under the hour
106.
for the 4 frames.
It's been a very good standard, hasn't it?
108.
Very enjoyable.
$111.
It just shows you the importance of trying to keep your opponent at bay. Because if you don't, this is what can happen.
115.
He's under pressure, Xiao, so as I said, it's quite admirable, this break. Just shows exactly what he can do given the chance.
120.
His highest ever break is in ranking tournaments is 142. He cannot beat that, but we're very, very, very
126.
pleased with this wonderful century. Marvellous break from Xiao Guodong. The last frame before the interval. Ding Junhui
126.
still leads though
7.
by
Frame
3
Xiao Guodong.
frames to 1.
16 past. As quietly as possible, please. Thank you.
We'll be back in 15 minutes with more action. Ken's off to have a nice pint of Guinness.
Quietly, please. Thank you. Frame 5. Xiao Guodong to break.
Nice break off from Xiao Guodong there, snookering Ding Junhui on all balls. Red just below the pink on the right is the one he's going to be aiming for. Couldn't get in behind the green there, but tried to get the cue ball as tight to the bottom rail as possible. But he has left Ding a tempter around the back of the black with an element of safety as well.
One.
Excellent pot, and also played in such a way that he gave himself a chance to play position as well, so he didn't blast at it, he didn't play for the cue ball onto the balk cushion, which was much more the old style of play. He's not really got into that. I don't know if he was overstretching a fraction or whether he got a bad contact, but well short of pace.
Ding Junhui, 3.
Didn't pot the yellow into the heart of the pocket. Perhaps he put a bit of unwanted side spin on, which would have meant less backspin, not catching the meat of the cue ball. Bit of a crowded area to the black ball, isn't it? Don't usually see the reds quite that far down towards the black, not so many of them. He needs to hit this red very thin, just checking to see if he's got the clearance past the green. Not every player comes down the table to look from this end. Always would have thought you could have seen it from experience quite easily from the end you normally play it from, but it must be very tight. You can always put a little bit of left-hand spin on.
For the buzz through there. Good shot. Good length of cue ball. And now he has Ding Junhui in a bit of butter here. Can play the 2-cushion escape down the left-hand side of the table, but there's plenty big target to aim at if you can nestle into any of the reds around the black. You've just got to be careful, but he's going for the 2-cushion escape.
Yeah, he's got 2 or 3 reds to flick off. Great effort. The top players now play those shots so well.
1.
Nicely picked out, although he couldn't really play it any softer
ball.
for position. These are not easy to get a snooker from. Once that cue ball hits the green on these
Guodong,
fast
1.
cloths, they separate quite a lot, but he may have got one. Don't think you'll be seeing the two-cushion escape this time. He's only got one red to go at. Perhaps dropping into the pack. There is a gap. The red to the right of the black could pot. He has to be careful.
Foul. And it's Xiao Guodong 4.
Xiao Guodong says, yes, please, which means obviously put him back in. He's got to be careful here, Ding. It is a big target, the reds, but he's got to be careful. As Steve said, there is a gap for the red above the black, just slightly to the right. And he doesn't want to leave Xiao a chance at that red, so
Okay.
it's a delicate little shot. Straightforward to hit. As I said, he'd love to hit the red just in the middle of those at the bunch. That looks pretty good. Yeah, very good. Excellent.
It's a type of situation that Guodong would have loved it to have been a touching ball, but no, it's horrible. May have had to have sacrificed the tactical advantage to his opponent. But I would suggest it's going to be hard to force an error at the moment. Lots of areas of that big pack to be able to drop onto just as a containing safety shot.
Well, again, Xiao Guodong took the aggressive approach by playing a good safety shot. Red has come over this bottom right-hand corner pocket. He's got a chance of a red into the left corner pocket. But it's tough cueing, isn't it, when you're so close to the ball cushion, Steve?
Yeah, it was an excellent safety shot. He's asked the question of Ding Junhui, who's forced to go for this red. He's got to keep everything as still as possible when he hits this. Well, and the safety has forced the error.
Just amazing when you get so close to that ball cushion. How much more difficult the pot becomes. Oh, has he let this go? Oh, just well, I thought it was going to be a full ball. Kiss on that pink, and he wouldn't have had a shot, but just managed to get by enough so he can take it back into the same pocket. He'll use the red to hold the cue ball. Looks a bit wide. Is it going to drop? Oh, just about. just only gone in because of the pace, but it was certainly
7.
looking like it was going to the far jaw. Just have a look at this. Just the pace of it. And the slower you play that, there'd be a slight drop.
8.
Not as much of a drop as maybe years gone by when the cloths were a little bit heavier, less nap on the cloths now. Got a good chance now to try and close the gap to
13.
1. Match time just over an hour. It's been a brisk pace this match. Good scoring.
14.
I don't think he needs to play any cannons here. Could do if you wish the red below the pink to the left. You could play a little cannon on. But it doesn't have to. There's plenty of reds available. That one in the middle of the bunch of 6s is available into the bottom right
90.
hand corner pocket.
$20.
There's a few reds covering each other to the corner pocket, so he's got to be a little careful. It's a sort of situation you'd be practicing a lot. Break building around the pink and black. You could set positions up all day long to try and make it difficult for yourself,
26.
so that when you get in a situation like this, you think clearly under pressure.
27. $32.
Well, again, decided not to play the cannon, but the red that he played for, he's gone too far for, so he's going to have to play in the alternative red here. Back up for the blue again. Needs to be top side.
33.
That doesn't look top side. Well, just about. The minute he hit it, he sort of dropped his hand as if he thought it was going to be a little bit on the low side, but just imagine. Just crept by the blue. Now back in prime position.
38.
He won't need the two slightly more difficult reds on the side cushions, or close to the side cushions. There's still a bit of work to do. Threading the cue ball. Oh, he's missed it.
Xiao Guodong, 38.
I was just about to say, to keep going down for the blue a bit. He'd like to have been on the pink at some stage and got that more open, but he knew it was thick. It could have dropped, but now a chance of a counter-attack by Ding Junhui. This is a big moment. Difference between 4-1 and 3-2 is massive.
1.
He's sitting in his chair there. Can't believe he missed that red. Mistake from Ding Junhui there.
6.
I think the red's touching the cushion, very close to it. It's an ultra-thin pot, but he will get it. It's just control of the cue balls, not so good.
7.
Good points and bad points about that. Did get the brown and yellow apart. But it's a tough shot now to get back up with the rest. Needs to put a good hit on this. Needs to get the top spin on. It wasn't easy.
He didn't hit that very well, did
No.
he? Almost hit it in the middle of the cue ball as opposed to right on the top. Almost stunned it.
Yeah, putting topspin on with the rest is quite tough.
Tried to bring
10.
the black into play there. He's going to take the black on. Just tried to nudge it off the cushion a couple of inches. He's still okay. You can pot this black and leave the cue ball exactly where he's just up a little slightly bit from where the black is now.
He's going to be leaving himself closer to the cushion than he would want, but more or less forced, I think.
Which red would you play here, Steve? Would you play for the red that's close to the top cushion, or the one that's just above the black spot to the left?
I suppose if he screws it back a little bit, but the trouble with that is the red is blocking the path of the black into the left-hand corner when it respots. So, but if he does roll the black in, he's even closer to the cushion. That's a tough shot as well. If he's dead straight on it and he's screwing back, it will come away a bit from the cushion, the cue ball. And he couldn't do anything but that, so he's really committed himself to a tough shot here. He can roll through for the pink in the opposite middle.
17.
I think he's straight enough on it.
No, he's one of the best players off the cushion, without a doubt. But he's going to need all his ability here. That looks pretty good. Oh, it's an
18.
excellent shot, wasn't it? Beautiful shot.
Yeah, I mean, a frame-winning shot, if ever there was one. Obviously, he's still got a lot of work to do, but it was a great effort. He's going to need the brown.
24.
The only real hope Xiao Guodong will be thinking about is yellow to green and then green to brown. He's hoping he's going to come unstuck. Anything else would be a bonus. Oh my goodness.
Junhui 25.
Xiao Guodong couldn't believe his luck. Didn't get anywhere near the green and brown.
One.
Guodong just doing some maths. It's going to be 21 points in front when he pots the blue.
Six.
Black puts him safe. He's just counting up whether he can play the blue.
Seven. Fourteen.
Well, it looks
16.
like the breaks come to an end, but barring snookers, Xiao Guodong back in this match at 3-2.
Xiao Guodong 16. Thank you.
Oh, doesn't want the cue ball going into the pocket.
Foul.
Oh,
Ding Junhui
wow. I didn't want that. Now, is there room in behind that pink? If there is. Maybe not. Maybe cue ball up behind the black here. What would you do here, Steve?
Yeah, the black's, it's tough to get in behind the black. If you could get it jammed in behind the black, that would be marvellous, but not easy.
He's going to try and get in behind the pink and just lay exactly on it. Ooh,
Nearly.
good effort. But at
Yeah,
least
it
he's
was.
got the black into play.
Yeah, clever shot.
Well, there may be a bit of life left in this frame just yet. Chance to get behind the black here now.
That's a good effort, but it's not good enough, and it's poked its nose out, so chance for Guodong to seal the frame. Well, his heart would be in his mouth as that brown goes close to the middle pocket, and this game and this frame is still very much alive. It'd be a very difficult shot for Ding Junhui to try and screw the cue ball in tight behind the blue. You'd have a lot of speed on the green as well. They're not ideally placed for snookers, but you never know. Great effort. Really is a good effort. Okay, it's not the hardest snooker to get out of, but I think he stopped Guodong from going up and down the table, which is an easier route. So instead of going to one cushion, he's going two. He's got to get this right, judgment-wise.
It's missable, isn't it? Good shot.
He'd have been very pleased to have seen that cue ball release off the top cushion on line. Guodong's got to be careful he doesn't leave Ding a chance to nestle in behind that pink. Put the green somewhere in the left-hand side of the table. Another great effort from Ding Junhui. He hasn't got the snooker with the black. There's just a gap. Not too sure if he can see enough to pot it. Perhaps he can. Guodong would love to see this green disappear.
Yeah, good pot.
3. Seven.
So after losing the first 3 frames of this match, Xiao
12.
Guodong has made a good fight back. Just 1 behind now.
$18. 25.
He only scored 27 points in the first 3 frames. With a gift from Ding Junhui in that frame. Has closed the gap for Xiao Guodong, but it's still Ding Junhui who leads by 3 frames to 2. Ding Junhui did all the hard work there, got himself into a good position, potted some good balls, and then this happened. We never saw this coming, did we?
No, he had a bit more of an angle on the pot than he wanted. Only a fractionally more than that was comfortable. You know, that's not that much of a cut. But it was always going to the near jaw. He'd have known immediately he'd missed it. So an unforced safety shot in frame 4. And now that relatively unforced pink. A couple of cracks appearing for Ding Junhui. He looked very clinical at the start of the match. chance for Guodong there, but misjudged the pot, but he got a good cue ball. Unavoidably knocking the black safe there. Good safety shot, regardless, especially from tight on the bottom cushion. It would appear that Guodong's forced to play a very thin safety back. Or is he looking at the pot? And try, if he is going to play the pot, to try and somehow get that cue ball to the top cushion. I think he's changed his mind. He's playing the thin safety. Well, that's the first very poor safety shot from Guodong. It's not exactly clear cut though for Junhui here. He's got a few puzzles to work out. Blue's in the open. It's a nice ball to get on, get things going, but guaranteed.
Just looking at the pink, is it open into this bottom right-hand corner pocket?
Yeah, I think it is, as well
It's
as into
very
the
close, but if it is, it will certainly help.
yeah. Just got to get a couple of positional shots bang on.
One.
Hoping to get the right side of the blue. If he's not, he'll be playing pink. Don't think the pink spot's on its own spot. Unless he were to shift the red covering it, so perhaps he will play the blue and leave. He's going to leave distance for the next red, so he's going to try and shift the red away from the pink spot.
Junhui one.
Make the pot a little bit more difficult. Seemed to bounce a bit, the cue ball. He got, yeah, he did get a kick on it. Although the kick would usually send the ball thick.
One.
The momentum in this match is changing, isn't it, Ken?
It certainly is. I was just going to say the same, but Junhui is looking a little bit more fragile now. He started off very, very well. But all of a sudden, the first error was a casual safety shot that let his opponent win the fourth frame. The second error was the easily missed pink to the left centre.
6.
And now that missed pink will certainly rock him slightly and make him a little bit more nervous, particularly if Xiao
7.
Guodong goes on and wins the frame from this visit.
It's going to be a different type of break Guodong's going to have to put together here. Hard to keep on getting perfectly on the blue. And of course, the most important thing is to get the correct side of the blue, even if it means going down for the balk colours. But obviously, with pink and black out of the equation. The blue is the higher scoring ball.
$13.
So far, so good.
Yeah, sometimes you can just put that extra little bit of pace on the cue ball, or extra little bit of side spin, and it just takes it up into an awkward position between blue and ball
18.
colours, but at the moment it's pretty good.
$19.
Again, nice pace. Perfect on the blue.
$24. $25.
Well, so far, every positional shot on the blue has been perfect.
$30. $31.
Well, there's the first mistake. Wrong side of the blue this time. We'll have to play the red from middle distance. You can try and hold the blue spot here. Well, I thought it might have been easier just holding the blue spot. But then, of course, the blue would go on the black spot. So, well,
36.
would it go on the black spot? Maybe not. Maybe go on the pink spot, which would have been easier. But all the while, another good pot here. Top side of the blue required.
37.
And that'll do nicely.
Yeah, nicely recovered. That red was a missable red. A little bit more distance between cue ball and red. Back in prime position. A couple of reds going to the right corner. He'll be playing the one nearest the pink spot.
42.
The other red that goes into the right middle will open things up even more so. Probably try and
43.
play on that red next. Doesn't have to, but either of the two top reds are available.
Well, he could make a frame win and break here just on blues alone. That's 8 reds, 8 blues.
48.
But not in ideal position. The red he will pot into the right corner pocket. He'll be careering into other reds. And he judged that nicely, didn't he?
Yeah. He was in a little bit of a trap there, but he's got
49.
out of it well. Inching closer and closer to the finishing line here. Obviously, playing the baulk colours doesn't score as quickly. This looks to be perfect.
52.
Two more reds required. That's one of them.
53.
This will be his 9th blue coming up. Been an excellent break.
58.
Good control of the cue ball. And this will complete the comeback to level
59.
things up once again. And he's got a nice angle on the blue here. He can disturb those 3 reds, bring them all into play. Very good. Excellent shot.
64.
Could play on the black here if you wish. The frame is over. Yeah.
65.
For the black. It's been good stuff, isn't it?
Certainly has. Be early morning in China. Perhaps a few people commuting to work watching this.
72.
Marvellous shot. Chance of his second 100. I think we've already surpassed the record for the tournament, have we? I saw some on Twitter, somebody saying about the amount of century breaks that have been made. It's an astonishing standard, obviously.
78.
111, is it?
Yeah.
79.
Doesn't need the pink for the century.
86. 88. $91. 95.
Sure, we get a big round of applause for this break, because this has been marvellous. Absolutely marvellous
100.
break. The second century of the evening. Well, he won't be bothered about missing the pink, but what a wonderful century break that was. Had to concentrate on the blue for most of it, but more importantly, another frame on the board. It's now back to all square. Junhui 3, Xiao Guodong 3.
Thank you, frame 7. Xiao Guodong to break.
So, Xiao Guodong breaking off and probably feeling a lot more comfortable about his game now. He really has turned this around quite nicely. The odd mistake from Junhui, he's punished severely. Can he push on?
One.
Wow, what a wonderful shot that was. And to hold for the black into the corner pocket. Doesn't get much better than that. Now Ding, time to refocus. Watch this again. And look at how still he stays on the shot. Beautiful.
9.
Yeah, and the black was great as well. It was a thin cutback, and he controlled the cue ball beautifully. So far, so good in his response to get back on the board.
16.
You feel he needs a good break here, Steve, just to settle him down again.
$17.
Normally, straight into the pack. He's had a look at that possibility. Needs a good bit of cue power here. Just watch the cue ball. Well, he didn't play it with a lot of pace, but it's come out okay. He's been lucky there.
24.
I think he definitely played the right-hand side of that red, so he didn't get stuck in the pack. So for that reason, he got what he
25.
asked for. Not looking tentative now amongst the balls. Junhui always looks comfortable.
30. 31.
He's got a couple of options. The two loose reds left and right of the pink. Well, there is a red, I'm looking. Just below the pink as well. In the middle of that bunch that does pot into this bottom left-hand corner pocket.
36. 37.
Bunch.
Out of position slightly, which means a red from distance is most likely the next try. There you see where he's going to try and leave the cue ball. Small margins of error. You'd expect him to float this one in, but he'd like to have been a couple of feet closer to it.
$43.
That's better. Good shot. And now that red that's in the middle of the bunch, he doesn't have to play any cannons here. That red below the pink is open into the same pocket. And he's nicely on it, and he can play a delicate little cannon into the two reds just when potting this red.
50.
May be able to bring them into play as well. Well,
51.
Didn't play the cannon. I'm a bit surprised there because now he's struggling for position.
Yeah, it looked like he could, but perhaps it was just a sort of half stun he didn't fancy. It's hard to see what else goes here. Okay, the red into the middle pocket, into the left middle. pretty tight. Is he going to try and screw into the pack? No. For a second there, I thought he was going to try and screw off a side cushion. So, no, this is a difficult red.
58.
He's got down quickly. He must fancy it. He's in stroke. 58 points. Oh, beautifully played.
59.
He's hit that positively and got right side of the blue. Now he can play into the left-hand side of pink and reds. It should open up nicely unless he can see something else.
Oh, doesn't want the red going in. Oh.
Couldn't hit
64.
the shot any better.
You may not believe this, but I don't think the red pots past the other one. I'm not quite sure. It's very, very tight.
Yeah, it's weird.
If he misses it, he'll be gifting his opponent a great chance here. He's got to be careful.
It's whether he could play a cat and can hit it from the back and it still drops in. Oh, he's played that well. What a great shot.
65.
Well played.
He never panicked on that one. Easy to have done. Well, we could be seeing the 3rd century break
72.
in 4 frames here. The standard really has gone through the roof.
73.
Oh,
Ding
shame
Junhui,
that he
73.
didn't make the century.
And afraid.
And Xiao Guodong stays in his chair. He says that's enough. But an excellent opening red there from Ding Junhui. And a wonderful break. Has got himself back in front once more. He leads Xiao Guodong by 4 frames to 3.
Wonderful opening red here from Ding Junhui. It really was. He dropped it in knowing that he wasn't going to be leaving any other reds, any other easy reds anyway, but he gave himself a sniff at that black. He made an excellent frame-winning break from it.
Thank you. Frame 8. Ding Junhui to break.
Wonderful venue, 4 tables in action. Ding centre stage. The first time I think in the match, may be wrong, but a red has nestled close to the black. It's relatively straight pot, but I think he can generate enough angle to go around the back of the black and play out for the blue. He's feeling more happy with his game now.
Well, a bit fortunate that red didn't come off this top cushion. Leave a handy one for Ding. He's got a red up into the green pocket, or you could play it into the right centre. Looks pretty good. Excellent shot.
Yeah, nicely controlled. Played in such a way that if he'd have missed it, he'd have left his opponent the red, so he had to be confident. Oh my goodness. Oh. Wow.
Ding Junhui 1.
I think Junhui making a gesture about his elbow there, and how much it came out offline.
He offered the cue to the crowd after that. But he laughed at this. He's got an interesting sort of way with him now, Ding. He can able to laugh at the shot that goes wrong. Nobody's really laughing inside, but what can you do? Yeah, have a go with this cue.
Xiao Guodong immediately taking the opportunity to bring the pink into play. It's quite clever, just to increase his options.
It's an amazing game, isn't it, really? I mean, Guodong's played an opening red that was nowhere near. Obviously not feeling happy as he walked back to the chair. Looks for all the world as if Ding's going to punish him. And then the next minute, he's back at the table. That didn't go in the heart of the pocket, but it was
7.
was always in, I feel. But
I think any more pace and that was going to stay out, wasn't it? Giving himself another option there, plus blue or pink into the left centre.
it feels right to get the blue back on its spot.
I think he'd love to get that red away from the black, wouldn't he?
Yeah.
That would open the black into both corner pockets then.
Don't think he could have afforded to have played it there. It's a bit tight for that. Pink goes into
13.
all 4 top pockets, so even though there's a few reds scattered around, you can always play the pink or blue till that
14.
red and black are resolved. It's even quite handy to have a red in bulk as well, should he not play perfectly on the blue. Another way to get back up the table using that red. You'd expect him to make a few points here.
19.
Yeah, doesn't have much work to do with the cue ball now, does he? He's got plenty of reds in the open. Just got to keep close control of that
20.
cue ball. And he has done since the 4th frame. Anytime he's got in. Missed the odd 1 or 2, but look at the pot success from both players. 94% now from
26.
Xiao Guodong. 93 from Ding. Very high standard from both players.
27. $32.
There's his target, 65. Before his opponent will require a snooker.
$33.
been good stuff, isn't it?
It has. There's been a lot of the top seeds have been
39.
taken the distance in this tournament so far. Some have fallen by the wayside. Others have got over the line.
40.
I think I'm correct in saying. Should Guodong convert this charge, which it does look like he's going to do. A 50% chance of this match going to 6-5.
$46.
Guess you'll have to play one difficult red.
47. $52.
You'll probably get to 4 reds left on the table before the difficult one is played,
53.
and he will be most probably over the line by then, but he'd still like one of those reds off the table to stop his opponent making a counter-attack. Red and pink would make Junhui need snookers.
55. Thank you. 56.
Oh, that's an incredible stat. Balls potted, 117 from Ding, 117 from Xiao. Oh, nicely on the red. The one that's been causing a bit of a problem throughout this break.
62.
Covering the black.
$63.
No, it's not there, but I don't think
Xiao
Ding
Guodong,
will be
63.
coming back to the table. Well,
Yeah, I think he has to in a way, because if he can pop.
yeah, well, barring snookers, it's going to be level once again. Xiao Guodong will win this frame, and it'll be 4-4.
$8. 9.
So Ding now with a minor mountain to climb, but with a free ball, he's
16.
always got a chance. Overhit that a bit. Don't think the green's going to come to his
Junhui,
rescue.
16.
47 points needed. 3 snookers, but the free ball would help.
that certainly helps Ding's cause, doesn't it, when getting the brown and yellow so close together.
It's interesting with the free ball, Ken, now that the miss rule is so powerful a rule. And originally the free ball rule was brought in to try and negate a player getting advantage from a foul, but it seems like it's a double whammy now with the free ball, but it does cause some interest at the end of frames.
Oh, this looks good. Red has gone very close to this corner pocket. Yeah, it's in. And although he apologises, I think Ding has conceded. And yes, eventually Xiao Guodong wins the frame. And we're back all squared again. It's Ding Junhui 4, Xiao Guodong 4.
Thank you. Frame 9. Xiao Guodong to break.
That's a mistake. Red does go into the middle pocket.
One.
Trying to keep on the green into the right middle. He's a bit more of an angle than he would have wanted, though. So this is not a certainty by any means. Very nicely played. Probably
4.
going to require the extension on his cue to be able to play this one. Might be able to reach over. Doesn't want to be careless with it, but that looks okay.
5.
Early chance here for Ding Junhui. He messed up his chance in the last frame, so he'd be delighted to try and rectify that here. Wow. A few unforced errors from Ding Junhui. There was a little bit of work needed to try and play a good positional shot. Didn't really get much action on the cue ball. Might have got a bad contact.
1.
Hard to say. Sometimes a bad contact can mean less backspin on the cue ball. Certainly it's getting tense out there now.
Yeah, it just doesn't look as usual. Ding Junhui, normally very self-assured. He's missed a few balls now. There'd be a bit of a shock to the system. Looking a little bit vulnerable. Normally so sharp in around the black area, and he's had some good breaks tonight, but some of the throws in the odd glaring miss that you don't really expect from him. Okay, you don't mind when players miss difficult pots, but when they're pretty straightforward.
8.
Pink to left middle in a previous frame that cost him. Black off the spot, blue off the spot in the last frame.
Well, I thought he might have had enough angle there to go into the pack.
Should have, yeah.
13.
Yeah, perhaps he was looking for a better angle, but he's totally misjudged the pace of that one. End of break. He's let Ding off the hook quite quickly there.
Xiao Guodong, 13.
He was a little bit straight on the blue, but I'm sure he could have generated enough pace to try and... And also it was a big target with the red and the pink.
I think he had plenty of room,
Yeah.
Steve. I think he's just trying to be a little bit too careful. Trying to take up the loose reds before going into the pack of reds.
But at some stage you would probably have had to have done anyway. Why not then?
Excellent safety shot from Junhui. Took a chance there. Had to hit the pack with a lot of pace. And as always, a red can go over left or right corner pocket, but got a cover on the blue and good distance with the cue ball. It's gone wrong. It's forced an opportunity now. The easiest. Bridging off the side cushion here, and of course you're digging down on the cue ball, trying to get the backspin back up for the blue.
Yeah, this is a tough one. About centre ball striking here. Brilliant.
1.
Okay, he's not got on the blue, but giving credit for a fantastic pot. You'd expect him to get this blue into the green pocket. It's just under reach. Just going to put that extra bit on. Just a little bit on the end of the cue. Means you've got a fractionally longer bridge than normal, but you don't take too many liberties with the shot. Putting that extra piece on the cue obviously adds weight to the cue, and it does change the dynamic
6.
when you're putting side spin on and also backspin. So you have to be aware of that.
Just had a quick look there. I think the pink goes into the left centre, so you can just stun this red in. Leave a nice angle on the pink.
7.
Not quite sure where he's got the angle to try and disturb the reds, but he can screw back for the red that's on the black spot.
He potted the red into the left-hand side of the pocket, which meant he may have got straight on this pink that he wanted. And because of that, he had to try and force the pink to generate some
Ding Junhui, 7.
action on the pack, and it all seems to be going wrong for Ding here. He's got himself in a hole. Seeing that cue ball bouncing up in the air. The pink was on target, but not at that speed. He's going through the mill out there now, Ding.
One.
I don't know why he's holding his hand up there. I mean,
No,
that
no.
was a decent shot.
Yeah, I
He
don't
was
know why.
always going to be on the blue.
Don't know why he apologised to Ding for getting lucky for position. As you say, it was always going to be on the blue. He's not ideally placed on the red, though.
6.
A bit sort of puzzled as to how it's come off the cushion. Has he got the red in the middle? Looks like he has. He may
Yeah.
not be able to get on the blue.
Now the angle is
Yeah.
going in towards the two reds to the left of it, so
So from what looked like it was guaranteed, he's got himself in a bit of a trap.
it's getting nervy out there,
Yeah.
isn't it, from both players?
thin cut with the red on the black spot to keep the break going. The red into the right middle, you know, you think, oh, that would go, but it's a lot more acute than it looked on our top shot. He's going to try and power through the two reds. Wow. This requires some accurate cueing.
7.
Best he could have managed, do you think?
Yeah, it's not too bad. The fact that the red has gone up into a potable position now, when he drops this blue in, he can just try and drop it in dead weight. Maybe make a little cannon on the green, but if not, he can still hold it for the red, and he's back in position, so it's not too bad.
They require good nerve.
12.
One of the keys to playing that slow blue into the middle pocket, don't pull the cue back too far.
13.
Then you can go through a bit more positively. So, back in prime position, although he's let that cue ball slip a
18.
fraction more than he would have wanted, but no problems.
$19.
This time he doesn't get perfectly on the blue.
Just gonna deep screw the cue ball off the green. Back for the red. Just below the black spot. Or the red to the side cushion. Didn't get into the cue ball the way he would have liked, but he's still okay.
22.
All the while building some points and building a lead. He's still got a bit of work to do here.
He'll be tempted by this red down the cushion. He's quite close to the red. He's tempted by screwing back for the blue, but more distance between this. This is missable, but more obvious shot. Right in the heart of the pocket.
23.
Has to be said, this will be a big win for Guodong.
He's holding himself together well. He's making some good pots. Still, again, he's got a bit of work to do with the cue ball here. May pot the brown and swing it around the angles here and try and get over close to these two reds on the right hand side of the table. Didn't go into the heart of the pocket, but still he's in good position. He's got the red down the rail. Red into the left middle.
27.
He's going to need 3 of these reds. Still hope. Oh, was that a kick?
Xiao Guodong 27.
Sounded a bit heavy, didn't it? But I'm not quite sure. I didn't see the red jump that much.
It's always a sign of a kick when the object ball goes thick. That's for certain. Red did sort of jump a bit. Perhaps the cue ball lost a bit of pace as well. Sometimes you get away with it. It doesn't destroy the potting angle, but made enough of a difference there, I think.
Oh, this is an excellent shot.
Thank you.
Tough to control the cue ball, though.
Yeah.
1.
He made a great effort at controlling that cue ball, but big blue to take on. I think perhaps a safety shot is this.
Yeah, I don't
It's
think there's
hard to
any
know.
value, is
No,
there, on
not
taking the blue on?
Not really, other than the fact that desperate to pot a few. Well, if he pots the blue, I think he may well disturb the red on the side cushion. It's brave. No, he was nowhere near the reds. Thought he might have been a bit thinner than that. So, with that in mind, was there any point? You know, why not
6.
play a safety shot? 6 points doesn't really change much.
Ding Junhui 6.
I think I might have been tempted to knock the pink up a table, played safe.
He's just about covered it. That's all he could do. It'd be risky playing the one to knock it off the cushion and try and get up behind the black here. That's what he's contemplating on. Very risky, because if he doesn't judge it correctly, he's going to leave a pot on. If he kisses the black here on the way up, he's going to leave a pot on, and this is poor shot, poor choice of shot. And again, just shown, Ding is very, very fragile at the moment. Not the right shot for me. It's going to cost him.
One.
Well, may just cost him 1 point for the moment, but the advantage is still with Xiao Guodong. He's going to roll him in behind the green. But Steve, difficult shot. Even if he gets like past the black, he could still leave a possible pot on. I mean, it was such a difficult shot to play at this stage of the match.
As we sit, and actually before the last red was potted, Ding Junhui would probably be requiring that pink to win the frame. And now with 2 reds left, his initial problem now is how does he get out this snooker and have a chance at leaving the ball safe. Going off this side cushion past the green and yellow, we'll be pushing a red to the cushion. Hopefully he would get away with that. Doesn't want to be pushing them into the middle of the table. Is he going around off 3 cushions? Okay, he's hoping to lay on one. That's a great effort, that really is.
That is such a good shot.
Touching ball.
He had to take a chance, didn't he, on making something.
He's unlucky,
Come in his
really. It is
favour.
touching ball, isn't it?
Spider.
Xiao Guodong's got that insurance policy of the pink on the baulk cushion. That helps him no end.
Yeah, touching ball, yeah.
Well, this is the shot I'd be looking at here, I would say. He was getting the spider out, but he could play this shot off 4 cushions, try and get up somewhere close to that ball cushion behind the green. And snooker Ding again. 2.
Thank you.
Well, I think he's got the gap, has he?
Cheers.
Well, would you believe it? He's got enough of the red here. He can pot it. Big shot. May not even attempt it, but he has the pot and angle of the red without a doubt.
It's more or less all he could do, I think, is to try the putt, really. I don't think there's any safety shot on. He might as well go for it. Oh, he could play safe. He could just get past. Didn't think he could see that much of it. Be delighted with that. giving Guodong a problem here. Well, anything could have happened there. The double kiss could have worked out worse for Guodong, but he has left Ding Junhui red into the yellow pocket.
One.
Good shot. Now, he's got a nice angle on the blue just to disturb this red, knock it towards his pocket. This looks pretty good. Excellent shot. Beautiful shot from Ding Junhui. Now, chance
6.
for Ding Junhui, but the problem ball is, of course, the one you mentioned, Steve, is that pink.
Yeah, he'd be pleased to get that far. He didn't necessarily think he was going to get that opportunity a while back.
This looks a bit pacey. This looks very
Okay.
pacey. Oh my goodness.
7.
Well. Okay, so he can play a snooker. If he can't see the blue, does it go past? It must do.
Just about.
Must do.
No.
Just got to get there. I think
Just about.
Just got there. Yes. Where that pink is, Ken, do you
Yeah.
risk trying to knock it out?
12.
Well, I was just saying, the most important thing there, potting the blue, means that he only needs the pink, so he doesn't need to play the pink with any pace. Just got a little kick on that yellow,
14.
but still managed to pot it. But yes,
That's a tough pink to roll along the top cushion, isn't it? Or along the bottom cushion.
yeah.
They always feel a bit harder along that bottom cushion than they do on the top because of this effect of the nap, even though there's not much of it these days. But trying to risk knocking it out is dangerous as well, because the chances are you don't line
70.
them up.
Well, he's got to get the right side of the blue here now, and then we'll see what angle he has, and he'll make a decision. But for me, I think he'll try and
Yeah.
play right behind it.
21.
If he gets in nice, but
He's got to play it into the green pocket, so try and get as tight to the ball cushion and as close to the pink as possible. Big clearance this,
26.
and that looks absolutely perfect. He just needs the pink for the frame, but this is difficult.
it's a wonderful shot from Ding Junhui.
And the frame Ding Junhui.
He rectifies the situation. He's back, one frame in front. 5-4, Ding Junhui. Played it at such a speed that if he misses, he's going to lose the frame. So he's played it positively, really. He could have banged at it, couldn't he? Just
Yeah,
hopefully.
gave it a chance to go into the
Yeah.
pocket, and that's a lesson for anybody watching at home. Always give it a chance to get into the pocket.
And that pink was ready to wobble and stay out. You could see it.
I think any more pace it
Yeah,
made of.
the pocket didn't like it, did it?
Well, it was a good clearance and showed a lot of character, because he was showing a bit of frailty. Xiao Guodong had a really good chance to win the frame from that position. Missed the red into the left centre. Not quite sure where he got a kick or heavy con. Sounded like
I
it,
think
didn't
he
it?
did, yeah,
We have to
yeah.
give him the benefit of the doubt.
I think so, yeah. Yeah, you sort of, even though there were other things that happened after that, but, very hard to think that he would have misjudged that one. Oh, obviously you can, but the way, it just felt like a kick. He wasn't too demonstrative after it happened.
Yeah, some players you would see. Well, some players would use the hand gesture,
Yeah,
wouldn't they?
yeah.
They say, oh, look what's happened to cue ball.
Occupational hazard.
One of those occasions that maybe should have got the cue ball clean.
Thank
It's
you,
one of
frame
those
10. Ding
that you would
Junhui.
expect to kick if you're ever going to get a kick, aren't you? Anyway, that's history now. Ding Junhui 1 frame ahead, possible 2 to play. Xiao Guodong will be hoping that there's 2 to play. But it's been a very entertaining match so far. Been littered with big breaks. A couple of centuries from Xiao Guodong in 99, 74, 84 and a 73 from Ding Junhui. But that was probably the most exciting frame so far, that last frame. Great clearance from Ding Junhui. Good distance away. He's left this into the left centre. That was an attempt at a pot, I'm sure it was.
Excellent pot.
1.
Unavoidable kiss on the green. You'd have been pleased to see where it came out. Brown in the middle and the cue ball rolling up the table. There's a few loose reds to play on. Too sure of the angle on the green, but the brown won't be a dead straight shot. Judgment pot, but I think the tracking on the cue ball will be perfect.
Beautiful, positive shot there. And the only problem is when potting the red and then potting the black straight after. Where does the black go? That's what he's having a look at.
Six.
What happens here? We'll know a little bit more when this black goes in. I don't think it spots. And I don't think it'll go on the pink spot, so it'll go on the highest available, which will be the green spot. Referee just having a look. Is there enough room on the pink spot? He'll use his ball marker. I don't think it'll go there, so it goes on the green spot.
13.
But then you'll have to concentrate on maybe the pink here.
14.
The pink will now effectively become the black ball. Okay. Thought he'd messed it up for a second, but
20. $21.
he couldn't get the correct side of the blue from that shot, so seems to be comfortable leaving himself distance. Green's available, although it ties the black up. So he's left himself relatively straight on this red. You'd expect him to get
26. it. 27.
A couple of decent positional shots away from getting over the line here. Leaving himself low on this red.
33.
It'll be disturbing reds.
Yeah, this could be the key shot, couldn't it? He's got to play it with a stun, run through, try and knock out one or two reds. That's all
34.
he could do. Ooh, didn't want to be hampered slightly by this red on the side cushion.
Yeah, bit unlucky, really. Could be in a bit of a trap here. It's tough to screw back. Has he got an angle? He's very close to that red. Oh, tough shot. Always when you're hitting down on it, ball's bouncing around on the table.
Ding Junhui 34.
Yeah, a bit surprised he played that way. I thought he might just try and make sure of the pink and leave the red. Not try and get so close to the red that's in the middle of the table, and the possibility of potting it into that right centre.
It was a kick as well. Even though the ball was bouncing, it was a bad contact.
We've got a chance here. Xiao Guodong. Oh, he's missed that by a long way.
That was a big shot.
He was a long way away from it, wasn't he? Now. What would he try and get on the black here? Black or blue? Black would certainly be more beneficial to Ding if he could.
Thank you.
That's a good shot.
1.
Maybe he doesn't have the angle to get on the red nicely from the black, so looks a bit straight, but he still has a straight blue into the corner pocket as well. But if the black has got a nice angle, he can screw up for the red, the loose red that's just to the right of the pink spot in the open.
Maybe the green, I think.
Green ball.
Oh, he's mentioned the green was not too bad either, because the green will go on the black spot, and it's a better angle, and that's an excellent shot. Very good. So the green will go on the black spot, which will certainly help his cause.
4.
He'd love to get a perfect angle on the blue, I think, here. They're not ideally placed to go into as a pack, but there's a red that goes through the gap. He's got a bit more angle on this than he would have liked for that red in to the left corner. Just about got enough on the cue ball, but at some stage
10.
he's going to need to go into these reds. Don't think it's a plant on. That would help things, but it's hit the jaw, but it's gone in.
11.
Just the pace, wasn't it? Now, he's one chance here.
Softly into the 3 reds.
Yeah.
Feels the order of the day here. Not too hard.
Well, it looks like
He's
he's
going to go for that
playing
one
the
back
loose
red.
red,
Yeah, he can do that around the back of it.
Get on the green.
Yeah, it would be nicer to go in
16.
to these reds from the green. You could control the split better.
He's done well here, Ding. Just
17.
one shot away now. This one shot, the green, just the red directly above the green. If he can just half ball into that, he will open 2 or 3 reds here. Well, he went for the other side, but he's played it perfectly, hasn't he?
Sure.
Yeah, he could have been forgiven for playing that
20.
red of the 3.
He's done well here, hasn't he? I mean, he has
he's
looked a
been
little
under
bit.
it, and he's dug himself out. I think Guodong will be feeling quite aggrieved about that kick in the last frame. I'm sure it was one.
21.
This blue and another red to really seal the deal. Holds the spot. You wouldn't expect any
26.
mistakes with this one.
Excellent.
27.
Well, that will certainly put him into the next round. He showed a lot of class here, Ding. He's been a bit under pressure, starting off very, very strongly. But he's made a couple of really good breaks when he's needed to. The last couple of reds.
32.
To win on the pink in the last frame was an excellent clearance. And this has been a good break as well, under pressure.
Yeah,
33.
his back was against the wall. He was snookered with 2 reds left, and it looked for all the world as if Guodong had the advantage, and a fantastic escape, dead weight, helped him no end.
It was a great escape, Steve.
38.
I'm sure he'll be a very relieved man this evening, but apart from that little spell where he sort of went off the
39.
boil, I'd still say it was a decent performance. You know, you could beat yourself up over not playing to the ultimate standard all the time, but you'll be pleased how he's responded here, I'm sure.
42.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah. I think he'd be disappointed. He missed a
43.
couple of easy chances, missed a couple of easy, you know, like a black here and a pink into the middle that were glaring misses. But other than that, it's been littered with big breaks, so certainly nothing wrong with the scoring.
Yeah, and the other thing is, these matches, it's
48.
not necessarily about being pretty. It's about getting over the line, keeping yourself in the tournament. Great yellow.
50.
Yeah, if he gets a bit of confidence, Ding, which I'm sure he will from this match, got out of jail against Matt Selt in the last. But he'll be a handful for anybody in the next round. And he seals the deal with a wonderful break against his fellow countryman.
Thank you.
They're good friends and practice partners. And Ding Junhui is into the next round, the last 16 of the Betway UK Championship in 2018. He beat Xiao Guodong by 6 frames to 4.